Hi, I'm Mrs. Gaither, and today the book I want to share with you is called Z for Zachariah by Robert C. O'Brien. This is a really great story. It's actually kind of an old story. I believe it was first published in 1975, and I read it for the first time when I was in the 8th grade. And what's really neat about this book is that even now, years later, I will catch myself thinking about this story and wanting to know what happens next. I don't want to leave you with the impression that it doesn't have a good ending, because it does have a really good ending, but I'm always wishing that there had been another chapter or a sequel, and maybe after I do this video I'll find out there is a sequel. But I have book talked it several times. We have multiple copies in the library. It's a very, very popular book. It's kind of sci-fi, survival, and you have to read the first 50 pages to find out that the main character is actually a girl. But Anne Burden, who is 16, is left alone in this valley. And I think it's about 2 miles wide, and it has its own little micro weather going on. So when there's a disaster, it's either a war or an atom bomb has exploded, something happens and it kills everyone surrounding their valley. And at first she's not by herself. She's with her family. She has her mom, her dad, her brother, a cousin, and then down the road about a mile from their house is a little store. The people who run the store are alive. And at the very beginning of the book, the dad and the brother and the cousin go on an expedition to find out who is alive in the town nearest them, and they come back with really bad news that everyone is dead. And then a couple days later, the adults decide to go on another trip, but they're going to go south of the valley to see if anyone survived in that area. And the plan is for Anne and her brother to stay on the farm and take care of the animals while they're gone. Well, they're only gone a little while, and she looks around and realizes that her brother, he had hidden away in one of the vehicles, and he's gone too. So she's left by herself in this valley. And the neat thing is she kind of has everything she needs. She's got the cows, she's got chickens, and if she really needs supplies, she can hike down the road to this little store. There's even a little church in their valley, but she's completely alone for human companionship. And what this book is actually about, it's about her discovering that there is somebody else alive outside of their valley, because she can see the smoke from what is probably a small campfire, and she looks for it every day, and she can tell that it's getting closer and closer and closer to her valley. She's excited because it's been a while since she's seen other people. She thought everyone was dead except for her. But then on the other hand, she's also really nervous and scared, because what if that person is not even a nice person? And this whole story is about her meeting that person, John R. Loomis, and them getting along together. And he's a scientist. He knows about radiation. He has Geiger counters, and he is wearing a safety suit. And when he comes into the valley, he is so excited to realize that he can take off that suit for the first time in all of his travels. And when Anne finally does talk to him, she learns the bad news that everywhere he went, he didn't find anyone that was alive. So you get the impression that they're it. They may possibly be the last 2 people alive on Earth. But anyway, I want you to come into the WMS library. I want you to read this book. Like I said, it's been one of my favorite stories since I was in the 8th grade. And still, after all this time, I am like, oh my gosh, what could possibly happen next? So come on in. Check it out. You're going to love it. Z for Zachariah by Robert C. O'Brien. I know that you are going to love it as much as I do.